Hey everybody, it's Sam. I'm making a quick update here. I'm in a hotel. I'm here in LA. I took a quick trip, and I know that there's the the new moon in Libra is happening on Sunday, October 27th. Happening Sunday night actually, but it's for the most part this weekend, this Saturday and Sunday, we're on the cusp of this new moon. And this new moon is actually also Diwali. I did an update. I talked about Diwali and the symbology of this holiday in Indian thinking, which is bringing the sun and moon together at a point where the sun is in its debilitated sign and the moon is almost there, but the moon is also very dark. So these two factors are sort of conspire to bring about, a pretty sort of intense and, perhaps difficult time, at least, mentally and emotionally. We can feel quite drained and quite sort of used up and maybe even like short and sharp and can be kind of stressful. So this new moon in Libra, though, does begin that cycle of Libra, wherever that falls in your chart. Wherever Libra falls is that cycle for you. So if you're in Taurus, for example, it's a sixth house cycle, sixth house month, this Soli lunar month. And of course, this is the sidereal zodiac, which has been used in India since time immemorial. The zodiac is pinned to the nakshatras. Nakshatras and rashis are nailed into the same space. Um, it, that's not a debatable point in Indian astrology. Every astrological text has this because it sets up that framework of cosmic energy that comes down through the sky. And so this sign of Libra is where we have these nakshatras nailed into that section of the sky. It starts with Chitra, the first 6 degrees and 30 minutes is a 640. Sorry, 640 is Chitra, then 640 to 20 is Swati, then 20 to 320 of Scorpio is Vishaka. So again, one of the things to understand about that, the Indian zodiac is this, it's nailed to the space. It's called near Ayana, which means without the solstice. So it's nailed to the space, right? So all the placements in Indian astrology is nailed to the space, not to the moving, what's called tropical zodiac in the West. That's always moving. No, it's nailed to the space, and that space is nailed to nakshatras. Very clearly stated intentionally in every zodiac text. Every text that explains how to erect the zodiac chart or the astrology chart. Just saying this because so that you understand this is a deep structure. And again, when we get these lunation cycles, it becomes very important. And especially, again, we can also see that this new moon that happens with the at this time in sidereal Libra, where sun and moon come together here at this point, where the sun is in its debilitated sidereal placement. This is where we have this holiday of Diwali as well, where the sun is weak, as symbolized by Lord Rama, and his wife Sita was also weak in that story. She was captured. And so it's symbolic of the need to be intentional with our light and to assert and push and maybe, really, have to work harder to bring the light into our life than normal, in fact. And so this is very much shown by this sign of Libra, where the sun is in its debilitated state, because in the sign of Libra, we wind up with this feeling that this whole, radiant quality of life, which is what the sun is. The sun is that radiant self that shines brightly, that shines powerfully. And, the exaltation sign is Aries, which is about our own enthusiasm and passion. So the symbol of the sun in Aries is where we have this enthusiasm and passion to follow our inner light, our inner radiance. In Libra, it's about accommodating everybody else. And so that part of us, that's that radiant self of the sun, isn't supposed to be checking with everybody else. Is it okay if I'm powerful? Is it okay if I shine and follow my own light? Is it okay if I spread the light of existence and power to the world? Is it okay? It won't upset you, right? This is how it can be difficult in Libra, right? And so that feeling of like, it can show a lack of confidence. It can show where we're not certain about where we're going. And so this is why we can see the nature of the sun in Libra. That's the debilitated sign. And then the moon is also very dark. So again, when the moon is dark, it's disappeared in the sky, right? So the moon is the mind and consciousness that we then reflect upon in order to find the soul's light. That's also in a stressful position because it's very dark and it's also close to being debilitated. So both of the luminaries are quite weak at this time, right? Neither of them are very strong. Sun is debilitated. The moon is almost debilitated, but it's really dark. It's as dark as it can possibly be. So that's the time when we need to be intentional with our light and with our energy. We need to intentionally cultivate it at that time, right? So that's what the symbol of, Diwali and that story of Lord Rama and Sita and Ravana, that whole story is to symbolize this play of light and dark and the need to be intentional and follow our own light, right? So that's why we have that. Anne said, and she's in reference to the zodiac, she said, I love the expression nailed to the space. Actually, it's not just an expression, that's literally what the term even means. Near eye in a zodiac means it's nailed to the space. Actually, both of them are space. The zodiacs are space. This is what it's measuring. The planet, literally, you look up in the sky and the planets are moving through space. So that's what the zodiac is. It's actually the space. But what we now call tropical zodiac is the space adding the Ayanamsha, which means adding the solstice, because they were measuring the solstice with the sky as well. With space, they're measuring the solstice against the sky. So that's called Sayana zodiac, which means with the solstice. But India uses near Ayan, which means without solstice. And so everything is just nailed to the sidereal space. The ecliptic coordinates are nailed to the sidereal ecliptic. Nailed means it doesn't move. That's where they are. And those ecliptic coordinates are nailed through nakshatras and rashis. They occupy the same space. It's said in every text. There's nothing to debate about it. Unless you want to just say, well, I don't think it's right, then okay, then you have a bunch of opinions about why you don't think it's right, but it doesn't mean that's not what they did. It also doesn't mean that they didn't understand it. They understood that that's what they were doing, and they understood what they were doing, and that was it. So again, there's still people that say, well, I'm not sure, or I don't agree, I don't think it's right. Okay, people can have their opinions. Doesn't change the facts. People's opinions don't change facts. That is what they did. It was in all the texts, and that's exactly what it means. And this is how you can really see it. So instead of, I'll just say this, sort of brief aside, these sort of conceptual arguments about the zodiacs are interesting and boring at the same time, because the implications of what that brings about is what's more important. Because when you disconnect the two and you say, well, I use tropical, okay, then what you've done is you've disconnected the nakshatras from the rashis, and that's not what the Indians did. And when you do that, the whole symmetry of the sky gets disturbed, because all of these things that I'm showing you right now, this is why when I said that in context, what I said was those nakshatras exist in those rashis in that portion. And they have for thousands of years, and they will continue till the end of time. Libra will be the section of sky that starts with 640 of Chitra, then 640 to 20 is Swati, and then from 20 to 320 Scorpio is Vishaka. That's the way it's been for thousands of years, and the way it will continue, with those nakshatras aligned with those rashis and that portion of the sky. The people that have said, no, I'm going to disconnect it, that's not the way it is. This is in Scorpio because now the rashis aren't aligned with nakshatras anymore. These are the implications of not doing that. And again, people can say, well, I don't think it's right. Okay, then don't do it, I guess. That doesn't, but there's no doubt that that's what the Indians did. It's not up for debate. That's in every text. So that's the reason I'm bringing it up. I don't care if people want to do it, but it's as a service to you. I keep explaining this now so people understand the real world implications of not using the zodiac that the Indians used. The real world implications is those things that are nailed together, Aries starting at 0 Ashwini, and then all of the rashis and the nakshatras aligned perfectly, gets disturbed if you're not using the correct zodiac. And I say correct because it is correct. That's what the Indians did. That's not an opinion. So anyway, that's the only reason I say it. But this idea of nailed is absolutely what it is. Everything is nailed to the sidereal ecliptic coordinates. It's not a debate. It's in every Indian text. And again, it's very important because it aligns this nakshatra of Swati with this section of Libra. And of course, there's incredible, not just symmetry, but they're the same section of space. So this section of Swati is known as that part of Libra. So that part of it's the part of Libra that is about the power of prana and breath and the wind. Libra is an air sign. Swati is ruled by Vayu, the god of the wind. So this is that part of even when you look at the story of Vayu, who roamed the earth, Vayu was also very lustful and very, he had the power to scatter the word and to communicate and to roam all about. Again, it's the wind, just like Libra is an air sign. Again, so these are the other connections that once you unmoor the nakshatras from the rashis, none of this makes sense. And it's all over the zodiac. Again, the beginning of Leo is Magha, of course, which is the king. Again, you have so many. The end of the zodiac, Pisces, is Revati. When you disconnect it, this end of the zodiac circle of Revati, which is the gentle shepherd, now goes into Aries, which is about self-will and assertion. Again, it just doesn't make sense when you disconnect it. So that's the reason that I mentioned it. And yeah, I talk about it because it's very important right now. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. And Marsha Kolika says, go Giants. Yeah, that's right. Put on the Giants hat here. Impromptu message. So anyway, Anne says, messing with the zodiac is a sign of the chaos of this age. Yeah, I mean, people do it. And again, I've never said that there's anything wrong with using tropical. I mean, there's a whole tradition of it called Western astrology, and there are people that use tropical zodiac, and they use the nakshatras to add nuance and whatnot, and that's fine. Doesn't mean that's what they did in India. I mean, it's not a debatable point at this point, and I'm not even interested in any debates. There are people that still want to debate this. I don't know why. They're debating themselves because there's nothing to debate. It's in every text, and it's not only in every text, but they also explain why. They show why. They show they weren't confused. They understood that one was part of the calendar, one is part of the zodiac. They're different things. Anyway, I don't want to go off on so much of a tangent, but I'm explaining the concepts as well. It's not just an opinion or a belief. And again, people can do what they want, whatever works best for them. Doesn't matter. Of course, tropical works. People can do it. It's a whole, again, there's a whole tradition of astrology based on that, mainly Western astrology. But anyway, this is a very important time when we check in and look at these transits to see. Sorry, my computer's shaking here a little bit because I have this a little bit balanced on my knee. See what Deedham says. Hello, Sam. Venus will be in Scorpio the 28th, and Jupiter, Mercury, Venus will be together until Jupiter transits to Saraswati Yoga. Yes. I'll do a video on Saraswati Yoga. So right now, I'm going to finish up with this new moon here. I just want to stay on that. But yes, Didem, that's a Saraswati Yoga in the sky. And that's coming up when Venus and Mercury and Jupiter go, and it'll be in the next couple days, right? So let me go back and do this here. Okay, so this is a time with this sun, with this moon Venus in Libra, in Swati Nakshatra, to really connect with those qualities of the mental power, mental strength, and organizing your prana, which is the quality of Swati, because again, it's ruled by the god Vayu. In the Ramayana, Hanuman, who was the great hero of the Ramayana, he's an incarnation. He's the son of Vayu. So he's an incarnation or an emanation of Vayu, the god of the wind. And his energy is to symbolize how to take all of that potential vata and derangement of the wind element and harness it and marshal all that energy into spiritual power, pranayama. And again, this is very much the sign of Libra. Again, Swati Nakshatra exists in the sign of Libra. Simple. And again, you see this very clearly with all that prana and that wind and that air. And instead of having that air turn into a vata deranged kind of dysfunctional part of Libra, which is all of this communication and this person and that person, and just kind of spinning out on the trivial, deranged kind of social mindset, which is what can happen with Libra. You can see, because this nakshatra of Swati is the one that exists fully in that sign. You see the need to, again, marshal and harness that energy into spiritual power. And this is really what Hanuman symbolizes. He's the general of the army of monkeys. What do you think monkeys symbolize? The monkey mind, jumping all around. Again, what is the monkey mind but vata, deranged thoughts? Again, and who is the god of Swati Nakshatra? It's actually Vayu, who is Hanuman's father. So what Hanuman did is he organized the army of monkeys into a great fighting force, and then in so doing, became this great servant of Lord Rama, this this great devotee. So you see that humility of Libra. Again, as shown by Venus, also the ruler of Libra, which is very much about service, devotion. You always see Hanuman down on one knee, devoted to Lord Rama, yet courageous and powerful. So this is a powerful symbol of this time, to be courageous and to intentionally defend the truth, defend the light through words and deeds. And again, this new moon coming together, sun and moon coming together in Swati Nakshatra. You see the moon here on this, it says Chitra. If I run it forward, change time. If I run it forward a few hours, you'll see, oops, over here. You watch this change. Let's see, this is around the time, here it is 10:06. This is, 10:27 at like 8 o'clock at night. It's about exact. This is Pacific time. So again, for the most part, it's 10:27, which is Sunday, is the exact conjunction, the exact Amavasya. So again, this is very much what you want to understand, is this is the energy of that new moon, very ripe and very important section or time and alignment. So when these moments align, it sets off a cycle. So this is the next 30-day cycle, which begins at that time with that alignment. So we see sun, moon together. As Didam has said, by that time, Venus goes into like 0 Scorpio. So Venus is just crossed over. And if we go through, like the next day or two, once Venus gets established, then we're going to have this Saraswati Yoga in Scorpio starting on the 28th, like she said. So I'll do a video about that. Saraswati Yoga is when Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter all join. And so this is, quite powerful there. GK says, looks like a powerful Kalasarpa Yoga. Yeah, well, we've had the Kalasarpa Yoga for quite a while, with, all the planets in between the nodes. So that's been going on for quite a while. So anyway, I just wanted to do this quick update about this new moon in Libra, Swati Nakshatra. It's the Diwali celebration, which is like an Indian New Year at that time, but you might be feeling kind of a little bit low mental energy this weekend. It's great for turning inward, for being more intentional with your energy, more, having to actually light a lamp. This is what they did in the Ramayana. It was where the villagers of Ayodhya all lit lamps to light the path for Lord Rama to find his way home. It's literally a story of having to be intentional and bring the light, because the light doesn't feel as powerful. It's not radiating as powerfully in a natural sense. So we have to be more intentional with it. So notice how you have to be more intentional with your light now. It's maybe not flowing as easily as it normally does. I'm going to be doing more Atmakarika videos, so I will. It's been a lot going on, so I'll be doing more Atmakarika videos. We're at that time of the year, right? So anyway, I'll just leave it at that, and I'll be doing the Atmakarika videos this week. I'll do Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury. I'm actually going backwards with the Atmakarika videos. We'll just leave it at that, and some people want to ask some questions about their charts or something like that. Kalasarpa in the 8th or something, I don't know. So anyway, we'll leave it at that, and so it does. I'm glad it's not so noisy. This is in a hotel in Beverly Hills that gets a little noisy at times, so we did good. It didn't get too noisy. See outside. Beverly Hills, baby. Beverly Hills, right? All right, so you have a good one, folks. Take care.